Leland, you're good?
Yep, I'm good.
The minutes must be doing well with Allison.
Yeah,
Um,
no, they've been good.
all right. Has she called you with any questions or anything, or she's
Nope.
pretty good? Okay. Um, well, Christina, thank you. You're always like, I'm not a big email person, so you're always good about, getting back to Allison with stuff on the agenda and stuff. I usually use the phone more than I do an email, but thank you very much. Appreciate that. Um, First, tonight on the agenda is Earth Day, and I believe Robin and you had some thoughts about Earth Day and participation and some ideas of how Earth Day would look like and everything, and with our commission and everything.
Yeah, I had a meeting last week. Robin, I'm sorry I haven't gotten you the uh description of that. And then this meeting was happening, so I just decided to update you all together. I had a meeting with the Woodbridge sustainability folks who are planning the general event. They wanted to know kind of what farms we had talked to and things like that. And so I described to them what our commission had talked about the last time and some of the farms that I wrote to. Um, I think I meant to share this with you all, but Robin, did we send that text email to everyone on the commission? We didn't.
I wonder if we didn't. So yeah, maybe if you want to send that out tonight for folks to send out to your contacts in
Yeah.
town. And they specifically asked for Woodbridge and Bethany. So if you like whoever you've got in those two towns, they were hesitant about Orange. I think they were worried we'd end up with too many people, which I'm not worried about. But
Yeah, and I think maybe that there was just so much going on. Oh, also, I did find out that the Woodbridge sustainability people are working with, I guess, I don't know exactly what the organization is called, but Bethany Sustainability. So maybe that's also one of the reasons why Bethany Farms were invited. Um, but basically the update so far is that I've started and Robin has reached out to a few farms here and there. I think the sustainability people, even though they asked farmers to do it, they've been reaching out to all of the farmers that they know. So, for example, one of the farms that we talked about last time was Clovernook. I reached out to Lars, but Lars had also had a couple other people reach out to him, and I think he was a little confused. Um, so maybe it's a good idea, like during this meeting, if there are some other farmers that that any of you commission members might want to reach out to, we can talk about those by name. And it's possible someone else that I don't know about has reached out, but hopefully not. But at least we won't double up our efforts. So the one thing, or the few things that we need to talk about and decide on, um, I'm going to step back really quickly. So we had kind of at our last month's meeting talked about having a market versus an educational thing, and I think we still want to have the emphasis be on the education. There are a few farms that could do a full table. So that is an option to still have to offer farms to have a market table if they wanted. Massaro has some products that they'd want to sell, and they'd be happy to have their own table and staff it. Andrea from Sperry Falls Farm was at the event last year, and she wants to have a table as well. But we had also talked about having some featured products. Uh, and I talked to Clovernook Farm, I think We Charcuterie, or is it Before and After Farm? Is that We? Yeah.
yeah, I think they're only going by week charcuterie now, but it doesn't
Okay.
really matter.
Yeah. And maybe Mike and Kate's Organics, or Mike and Kate's Naturally Grown, which is in Woodbridge. Um, each of them would like to have a product featured, even if it's not that they're necessarily having and staffing a full table. If any of you for your own farms would be interested in participating, if you want to let me know whether you want to be on a shared table or maybe have your own table, that would be great. This could be info, it could be a product if you have a product. Do any of you and your farms have something that you want to?
Hey, right now, I really don't have it. I mean, I got pictures of stuff that we have from the fields and, stuff like that, but I don't have any product because I'm a seasonal type that stuff and we don't, any of the stuff that we do can and stuff that we do goes out the door before we close at the end of the year.
Totally. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Everything is gone.
sure.
Or
Well,
we
I
get,
think
or we give it away at the very end sometimes to like if we have small pumpkins and we give it to charity groups, for kids for pumpkins or stuff like that.
for farms that don't have stuff right now, I think we just want to have good information about, when your season opens. A lot of people are familiar with Mary Mountain, but
Yeah.
your farm or others, I think we can still have a real presence there through
Yeah.
pictures and, maybe your logo and stuff like that.
Well, I was gonna bring one of the signs that we had, an old sign, and put it on like on the table, and just some of the older, like maybe some of the old antiques that are around, like old antique tractors around it or something like that. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah,
I
that's
like
cool.
that. That's good.
So that's how I was thinking about. Because how long does this go from?
Well, so that's a thing that we need to talk about today. The whole event is 11 to 5 or something, but I don't think we should be a part of that. They've said that, or I do think we should be a small part of that. They've said that there are some other things that are time limited. So I think we should talk about what we think would be the best time block. I think maybe 3 hours. Um, that way with setup and takedown, it would be no more than 4 hours. We could probably even do two if you thought that would be better. But the Woodbridge sustainability folks, just for their planning, they'd like us to tell them what time block we think would work. Does anyone have?
I'm more to 11 to 1, rather start in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'd rather be there at the beginning than the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
11 to
11 to 1, but you get there, you're going to be there a little bit earlier anyway, say at 10:45, 10:30 to set up.
Right.
Then by the time you get going, it's 11. By the time you start breaking down, it's 1. You're not out of there to 1:15, 1:30. It gives you almost 3 hours right there.
Right. Okay.
So that's my thought. I don't know. Does anybody else have some other ideas or?
That sounds good to me.
That's,
Yeah, sounds good to
Okay.
me. Yeah, I just looked, it says 10 to 5, so.
Oh, 10
10
to
to 5? 10 to 5?
Okay. Thanks for checking that.
Yep.
I'm glad you got that right. Do we want to do 10 to noon then?
Let's do 10 to noon then. That's better.
Yep.
Okay.
I'd rather be there from the get-go and get it, go through it. Then we always have, well, we all have busy lives too, and I get it. We want to be able to contribute, but also, especially people with children who have busy lives. I just have grandchildren, so I mean, I'm not as busy as you guys. So, anyways,
Well, it's easy to get busy this time of year for any farmer. So,
I get it.
so then the other thing they wanted to ask, if we're not having this be kind of a full-blown market, they wanted to ask us what we want to call the event, or call our section. Do we want to call it a farmer's market, or do we want to call it like a farm zone? Does anybody have an idea of what we want to call this that's farm promotion, but not necessarily all about selling, since some of it will be info and
Could it be maybe like community agriculture or?
Like meet the farmer
What?
kind of thing.
Yeah.
okay.
Meet your local neighbors, something like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, it could be like locally grown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did she say? What did she say? Community agriculture?
Yeah, I mean, or I think any of that works. Locally grown, I
Say,
think
meet your
is good.
local agricultural family. Things like that.
Yeah.
I'm throwing stuff out there.
Meet your local ag family.
you know,
Nope.
or
Locally
me.
grown zone
yeah, we could have the locally grown zone. Um,
or local
Yeah.
agriculture zone.
Um,
I don't know.
okay,
Just throw it out. We're
what
here.
about like a locally grown zone, colon, meet your, uh, meet
Meet
your,
the farmers.
Meet
The
the
farmers.
farmers?
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
okay. Sorry, I'm taking notes as I'm going. And, uh, so the other thing that I think would be really great for this, which we had talked about, was having lots of information about where farms are, seasonal things, um, and seasonal events that you might have. So when your farm stand opens at Merry Mountain, when Town Line, maybe when Town Line opens, or like when Town Line plans sort of generally throughout the year, what month does maple syruping generally happen? Because I think this might vary from year to year a little bit, and same with like fall festival and stuff like that. So I think
I
one
think
of us needs
I
to
think
just,
if we have a little information like Rachel, if she comes out and she says she has like a sign or something, and then she has like maybe some flyers or some types of handouts of this is what we offer during the season, and you give them you can't give them exact times yet or anything like that because you never know what can change. But usually I know that, like with us, we start the last weekend in June and we go through till frost in October. That's how basically how we run. So
Mhm.
basically I'm running from the end of June to the middle of October sometime, and we run 10 to 6 every single day. No
right.
period. But um, and we have we're never closed on a holiday. We're always open a half day in the morning. But I mean, that's what I'll come up with something and a little information on, a little of the history, a little about what we do, and a little about so somebody could pick it up in like a little flyer and just say, oh, look, here we got Mary Mountain Farm, or here, we got Town Line. Oh, there sometimes, looks like in October they're doing the hay maze with pumpkins and all this stuff and hay rides and stuff like that. But you're not going to have the exact times. You have a
Right.
guesstimate, but you don't want to put something down and then you change it later on because somebody might come back to that and say, "Oh, I got this piece of paper. Look, this is what you wrote." Because
They'll
everybody,
definitely do that.
it's like suicide sometimes. You know, um, but I think it's good to have some type of information, and if we put anything in there, put those of our tentative times and dates. That's what I think you have to put in there. So, and I think everybody will look into that, and everybody will be a little different. Massaro's an educational type facility where they have a lot of children in there. They teach them about stuff. They have a lot of hands-on activities for the kids. And Steve's always pretty good about all those types of things, and he shares it very well with everyone. But I just using a few people for example, but that was my image of what. And some people are going to have some canned goods. Some people might have. I really don't know what they're going to have a lot for different foods right now, but
Mm-hmm.
unless they're growing in greenhouses right now,
Right.
So
Leland or Rachel, do either of you have things that you'd want to feature on a market table or have a whole table?
The only thing we have is maple syrup, but I've made some some lard soaps because I had a lot of pig fat.
Awesome.
That's it.
Ooh.
Awesome. That's so cool. Um, so like maybe you'd be interested in a shared table?
Yeah, I don't think I'd need more than like half a table because I could just put more stuff out and display, but that's really it. We won't have any sort of produce for at least a month, if not longer.
I think, and I
Well,
think
you
that's
and
a great
everybody else,
education
that's
point.
how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
so
what the
sorry,
season is.
you'll do lard and maple syrup or just lard?
Probably both. Definitely maple syrup and potentially the soaps.
Awesome. I think that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Leland, do you have any mushrooms or anything?
No, we're kind of like hobby,
Yeah, totally cool.
gardener, so
Um, I think maybe I need to send out this template email with some of the updated, the locally grown zone, meet your farmer, and the 10 to noon. I'll send you a template email if anyone here has farms that they want to reach out to. I think ideally we would like to have an idea of who wants to participate by April 1st, which is a few weeks. So you might want to, send out emails and then follow up if you're
I'm
any.
sorry. Did you say you talked to Andrea Urbano?
I did talk to Andrea. Yep. I talked to Andrea Clovernook. I reached out to someone else in Bethany, Brenda Caldwell. I haven't heard back from her. I need to follow up. Mike and Kate's Naturally Grown and We Charcuterie. Those are the only ones that I've contacted.
And what about Massaro?
Oh, and Massaro. Yes. And Massaro is in. They have they'll bring, I think they probably have greens and stuff from their greenhouse or maybe some overwintered stuff. I don't know if it's too late for that, but they said that they'll have some things for sale. And then they also are going to bring, I think, a chicken and maybe a goat.
Nice.
Would be just like a fun, interactive thing. Um,
And I'll bring Tucker. What do you think?
Yeah, and we could bring pigs too, or
Yeah, you bring one of the little piglets you have.
what? You have piglets?
His
Yeah.
mom
You
had.
had
They're
piglets?
pet pigs.
They're pet pigs, but they got peacocks. He's got them all. He's got everything.
Oh my gosh, do you really? Wow.
Yeah.
Would a
Yeah, we
pig
have a
make
ton
me
of peacocks.
scared of people?
What, the pigs?
The
Yeah.
pigs? No,
No.
not at
If
all.
you got food, just drop some Cheerios on the ground. They'll follow you wherever you want to go. They're like your little puppy dog. They'll follow you everywhere.
That would be really cool.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That
Talk to
would
your
be
mom,
fun.
Leland.
Yeah, I will.
Talk to her. We can get a big leash. We can really strap one up there and get them in there.
Yeah, I mean the younger ones are pretty small too right now, so
Yeah.
that's actually really doable.
Yeah. That
But
would be cool.
one of the younger ones, Tommy, we have is awesome. He's got blue eyes.
Yeah.
Be fun to bring.
Yeah. That would be good.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm writing down Tommy the pig.
Okay.
Tommy Blue Eyes. So that's basically the update. I think it sounds like there's lots of info we want to share. And so I think just being there and I guess being there from 10 to noon, if you have to come a little earlier or later, we can all figure out how to kind of
Yeah,
stack.
and I think it's good support for everybody doing things like this. Like everybody supports everybody. Like I'm not in competition against this one or that one. We all work together, and we enjoy like doing all this together and meeting the people in the town. And I think things like that are good. I really do. So I mean, they reached out to me. BJ reached out to me from Beecher Road School, and she's like, "Do you want to get a table and everything else?" And I haven't gotten back to her yet because I knew we had the meeting tonight. So
Why aren't they reaching out to people on their own if they asked us to do it?
I
Yeah,
know
they
that's
did.
what I didn't reach. She sent me a text message, and I didn't reply yet or anything because I knew we had the meeting tonight, and I'm saying. I sort of was going to reach out to her, but I said, let me have this meeting tonight because I sort of wanted to know a little bit more about everything that so we have a meeting, so I have a good discussion.
Right.
Christina, you said you maybe also reached out to Clover?
Yes.
Okay, and they'll do a feature?
Yeah.
Yes. Clover
I'm
Nook
just
will
making
do.
notes here.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I'm
Clover Nook
making
will
notes
do a
and I
feature
just
to
shared a
create it.
spreadsheet with y'all. That's the only way I can process everything for you.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
So you're gonna reach back out to everyone here and then we'll send in the forms, or is that how you want us to do it? Or how do you want to go about doing this, Christine?
Yeah. So, Robin and I had kind of drafted an email that I intended to send out to you earlier, but if you have another farm that you know of in Bethany or in Woodbridge,
Yeah.
or if it comes up, that just kind of has a description of the event and all of the and the specific info now, which would be 10 to noon, and our locally grown zone and stuff like that. Inviting people to participate. So I'll send that out so that if you want to reach out to someone you know, I think, Rachel, did you say you knew Bethany Farm and Nursery or?
I know Chris Farm. They're
Oh
in
yeah,
Bethany.
Chris. Oh right, Chris. Yeah.
And then I know someone that does honey in Bethany, and we sell their honey products at our stand.
Oh cool. Honey would be great. Um, yeah, I wonder if Chris could do ice cream. Maybe they wouldn't want to do that, but they could just promote their stuff anyway. Okay, so yeah, I'll send that out tonight. So I don't forget to do it like I forgot last time.
So I just, because I will forget once we're off the call, I made this spreadsheet and I shared it with y'all and I put the email draft in the spreadsheet also on the second tab, just so that you can snag it from there if you want. But
Does
I
that have
think
the
if
changes
you
of
reach out,
10 to noon?
I didn't make any of the changes. I just copied our original one.
Okay.
I see what you mean. You're right. I can do that. But I think if you reach out to anyone, just put yourself down as a point, like put the name of the farm and their info and yourself as a point person, and then fill in like what they want. If they want to be, if they want to be on the info table or have a feature, or if they want to have their own table,
Okay.
so that we can all like have our be on the same page, and so that we're not all reaching out to the same people.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for making a spreadsheet.
Okay.
You're very welcome. That's the way my brain works.
Okay. So you want to move on from Earth Day to the farm lease extensions? I had asked Allison to get on the Board of Selectmen meetings. Allison didn't. I was not informed of able to get on the meetings for this month. I asked her if I could be on the meeting for April. I'm still waiting to hear back from Allison. That's where I was there. Unless anybody else heard anything different, that's where we're at. I know they have a pretty full slate going on, and guess they're picking and choosing what they choose to put on their agenda. So I don't have any other news to report from that. And then on I guess it's back to Christina again on the CCW TAC update.
Can I share my screen perhaps?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Hold on, let me figure out. Does anyone know how to do that? Do I just do the share button?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. And I'm so sorry. What do I do now? It took me to system preferences. Oh gosh.
Oh,
When I click on share, it gives me the option to share. Press
are you on
in,
a
go
Mac?
back to share.
I have a
Yeah.
Mac.
Yeah, so I think you click the
Sorry, tell me.
I think you click the little apple icon in the top left and system settings. And what do you do?
Hi, Nick here. I think if you go, there's a way to do it where you can, it says share content screen or application file. That's on the top. If you go to share,
Okay, sorry. Share. On the share drop down.
Mhm.
Share content.
and then it says file. That's a place where I believe you could do it. Yeah, you go to file and then it says share file.
For
Do you see
some
that or
reason,
not?
it keeps taking me to my system preferences, which must mean that I have some sort of privacy setting that won't let me do this. So how can I add? And it won't let me add. Well, okay, let me talk to you in general about this. Maybe someone else could share their screen if I send the
Could you?
presentation.
Yeah, I was
I
just
can
gonna
if
say.
you send it to me or anyone.
Or yeah, I mean, I could. What's the best way to do this? Should I?
Want to just send it to someone?
Yeah.
Pick
So
a person
Email it
basically,
to someone that could share it.
Send it to
Yeah.
Robin, and then Robin.
okay. So
Yeah, I
to
can't figure it
describe
out.
where we were at with the country club thing last week, there was a meeting with a presentation, which is what I'm trying to share now. Robin, I'm sending to you. And the presentation outlines some of the things that this Cooper Robinson, the firm that's doing this planning process, where they are so far in the process. And then we also had a site walk where they talked kind of generally about where they envision certain things happening. So if you do get a chance to open this, Robin, if you could go to slide 22, maybe?
Yes,
Maybe
I
it's
just
like
see it.
18.
Oh, that's it. Okay, I got it.
So to reiterate, there's this group, Cooper Robinson, that's working with the town and interviewing people from different commissions, from different places in the town, different stakeholders. They've held some community meetings, and they're working with a bunch of things to kind of try to put together a vision for how the country club land can be used. It is not a development proposal. It's to help guide the town in seeking out proposals for development or for how to use the land. And so actually, yeah, if you go to slide 22, the guiding principles for their master plan are
Robin, you're the one moving this, right?
Yes, but I
Okay.
don't see numbers on the slide, so now I'm kind of.
oh,
and the
okay,
pictures
sorry.
aren't all coming up, which could be my fault. Let's try
Um,
this way, straight from my email. That looks better.
Yeah, it's keep
I'm going
going.
to stop.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Keep going. Keep going. All of this info could be good, but okay, stop right
Guiding
here.
principle?
Yeah, right there on guiding principles. Yeah. So, yeah, the meeting took a couple of hours, which is why we don't have to go through the whole thing. But the guiding principles that they've come up with after talking to all of these stakeholders so far in the past couple of months are to pursue sustainability at the highest level, to ensure thoughtful and contextual design, to expand recreational and cultural opportunities, to support community needs and well-being, and to promote economic and fiscal responsibility. And I think that seems pretty vague, but then when you see the 4 different options that they give in the master plan, Robin, if you want to scroll up to a few slides to the map on, it's slide 18.
This one?
I'm seeing a spreadsheet.
Oh, how about this? Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, except then I closed it by mistake. Okay. Oh, there's so many maps here. Okay, this one.
Yes.
Can you zoom a little bit on it?
Maybe? Is that
Yeah.
better?
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
that's better.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, so you can kind of see here at the top, that's Ansonia Road. And so they've kind of these ovals are generally things that they're considering for the site. So the previously developed area on the bottom right is where the old clubhouse was. And then the top left corner, the opposite corner, it was also, is that where there's like a utility building? That's where
That's where they put the new parking lot. There's no utility
Yes.
building. They took it down.
Yeah. They have the new parking lot, but so they're considering those two sites specifically as some of the most disturbed areas. And therefore, if they did any, and there are also places where there's currently access to the property. So those are ones that you'll see later that they're using as the consideration points for where to put things, basically. All right, then if you can scroll down a few slides, Robin, to one that has big blocks of green, yellow, and orange. Yep, that one. So these three areas are what they're considering for the plan. Preserve is keeping things kind of open in trails, passive recreation, possibly putting things under conservation easements. Enhance is like a step up from what's currently there, and so that might be soccer fields or community things. I think farming might be considered an enhancement. Let me see later if they have that. Oh yeah, they're considering a farm option. If you go to the next slide, that would be an enhancement. They are thinking about possibly having an orchard or berry patch. I don't think any of this stuff is set in stone. It's just that that's something that they suggested based on kind of the topography and thinking about something that could be perennial. And I have a question for the commission about that, like some of the ag specifics. But that's considered an enhancement. And then transform, that would be something that takes the property a step further. So that would be having actual development on the land. That could be housing, it could be a brewery, it could be a hotel, it could be something like that. So if you go down to the next slide, the next map, this is what they're calling alternative A. I don't know if my presentation that I'm sharing with you now, if this is exactly what they presented to the Board of Selectmen. They might have made a few changes, but it's something similar to this that they presented to the Board of Selectmen, these four options, which we'll go through one by one. Alternative A keeps 133 acres in preserve, which I don't think necessarily rules out farming in the future, but again, farming would be yellow and it would be an area of enhancement, which they're calling could be play fields, ball courts, town park, ice rink, recreation center, playground. Preserve, I guess they put preserve the orchard in green on this option. If you go down to the next slide, alternative B, there's slightly more enhancement, slightly more transformation, but still a lot in preserve. And then you can also scroll to C and D, Robin, which I think both just expand slightly. All of the options that they present do keep a lot of the sensitive areas of the site. That's the stuff that is watershed, the wetlands area, things that have kind of sensitive wooded topography. Those ones are not planned for development. So let's see. Then if you go down a few more, you can see all four side by side. I think that this keeps a lot of the space in passive use for the town. I think there's a lot of people who are interested in keeping a lot of it in open space. I think if it's kept undeveloped from an agricultural standpoint, I think it provides the future use option of having that potentially be used for agricultural purposes. I don't necessarily think that I don't necessarily think that the town would choose to put all of the land in agriculture right now. I also think that kind of topographically that might be very challenging. So my questions for you, based on this very brief overview of those options, are: do you feel like farm interests are presented well enough here, represented well enough here? And also, if there are some of these other developed activities, possible housing, possible recreation use, or even just open space and trails, what are some of the constraints that there might be on farming? I mean, I do think, from my perspective, having a way to protect your crops from deer, but also from people wandering through, having a safe place for machinery to be stored, and having access to water and electricity and kind of the things that you might need to actually operate a business, I think are primary concerns. So I think that would somewhat affect the placement of a farm potentially. But I'm curious if there's any things that kind of jump out to, excuse me, to you all. I'm not used to speaking.
Bless you.
But if there's anything that jumps out to you that we should be considering for the planners. And I'm gonna get some water, just one moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, any thoughts?
I think you have to generate some revenue for the town in some capacity in this property. With farming, I mean, there's lots of different things that are going on now. I know they're pushing big greenhouses and things like that. They want to grow in greenhouses, and you know, that's somebody approached me and wanted to put greenhouses up, and they want to use them on a year-round basis. I mean, that they generate revenue, and then the town will be able to generate a little bit of revenue. I think the town's got to look about how you're going to maintain this whole property. It's really gone downhill, and it needs some TLC now, and it takes money. And then once you build it up, you got to be able to keep it that way. And so we got to have something that offsets it. So if you have some farmland, but also some of these other ideas that can generate a little revenue to keep up the, you know, some of those, all the preserves, or people could use it for walking tracks and stuff like that. I think that's important, but I think also you got to maintain it. And it's the first time I've seen it, so I'm going to take I'll look at it a little closely, and I think maybe we can talk about it at the next meeting more. Once you can come up with some more, sit and think about and get some more ideas on my point.
I believe I can share this presentation in its entirety.
Yeah.
I'll just double check on that to make sure that I can share it as is.
Okay.
And that way you can go through and see it kind of step by step. And yeah, take some time with it, because I do realize this is just such a quick
Yeah.
rush through.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. If you if you could check on that, Christina, and then if it's all good, then let's, maybe you could send it like you sent it to Robin. You could forward it to each one of us, and then we can go through it all, and then we can give more feedback at the next meeting, and then maybe we can give that to the people at Cooper and Robinson, some of our thoughts. So, Leland, does that sound good with you?
Yeah, no, I'd appreciate being able to read through the whole thing.
Yeah. And I thank you for all the time you spend, Christina. You've been a busy girl. So you too, Robin. Sorry. I'm not throwing you out, that's good.
All good. Yeah, so I think it does make sense for us to all independently take a look at it, 'cause it's hard for us all to look at it at once here intelligently.
'Cause
Um,
there's a lot there. And I think sometimes you just gotta, think about it for a little while, read it and then think about it. And then I think you can come up with some better feedback for Cooper and Robinson. And then instead of, looking at it for 5-10 minutes and then trying to think about, wow, what about this or what about that? So thank you. Thank you for getting this. And then we'll put that on our next meeting. Feedback from the summary of all the Cooper and Robinson's plans for the CCW track. Does anybody else have any questions or feedback on that? No? Okay. So we're gonna move forward from there, and we're gonna do the minutes. Did everyone get to see the minutes from last meeting? Rachel and Robin, Christina, did you see them?
Yes, I
Did
saw.
anybody take a look at the minutes from last meeting?
I actually haven't looked yet, but I will look right now. But I need to, in order to do that, I need to stop sharing. Well, unless you all want to see me looking at the
Okay,
minutes.
okay,
So I'm gonna stop sharing unless
that's
you,
fine.
anybody wants
That's
to.
Yeah,
fine. I
that's
think
good.
we're
Thank
good.
you. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
no
thank you.
worries. No worries.
Did we get the minutes?
Last I saw, Allison said she would send the minutes over for approval yesterday evening.
I
didn't
saw
get
that, and I had sent them on February 12th, 5 p.m. to
Oh,
all you guys.
to us. Okay, so we can look at yours. Thanks.
Perfect. I see it. Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess it doesn't have their header and whatever edits she may have had though.
Were you able to find them, Robin?
Yes,
I thought so. Okay.
I've taken a look at it. My only correction is my name, but that's a pretty much.
Yeah, I'm just seeing your name's wrong again. Sorry.
Doesn't
about
like
that.
you, Robin.
Been that way my whole life. I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah.
But other than that, it looks good to me.
Are all those in favor of approving the minutes? I make a motion. Do I get a second? Do I get a
I'll
second
second.
with Robin? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Unanimously. So the minutes pass. Do we have any new business? Not that I know of any. Does anybody else have anything? No?
I
Okay,
can't think of
We're
anything.
good.
no. So then I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn. Do I get a second?
A second.
All those, that's Christina seconded. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, aye. Thank you very much. Thank you all for everything you do. And I look forward to getting stuff together for Earth Day and everything else. So thank you very much.
What's
right.
what's our date for our next meeting? Sorry.
Hold on.
Is it the 8th?
No, the 14th of April. No, excuse me, I'm not 14th. It's the 8th. It's the 8th. Yes,
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
it's the 8th of
Is that
April.
our last scheduled meeting for the year?
Yeah.
I think that's our last scheduled meeting for the year.
Okay, so
That-
unless we
no,
meet
no.
with the Board of Selectmen,
So that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get on the Board of Selectmen for April. If we need to put another meeting in, we can do that. We
mhm,
can always add it to the agenda for
Okay.
May if we need to add another meeting. That isn't a problem. As long as we give we have to give so much notice. But
mhm.
I'm waiting to Allison to get back to me and then let's see what she gets. Okay?
Sounds good.
Uh,
Happy
so-
spring, y'all.
yeah,
Happy spring.
yeah. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
night. All right.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a good night.